Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing you another video today, but before we get into the video, I got some big news for you. The shop's back open. We're finally back up and running. We took a little break there over the holiday season, took that break to expand the shop. We're now up to about 200 more square feet than we had before, so we got a lot more room in there. The only thing I actually have to do yet is build a tying bench. We're going to build a big tying table in there and hopefully start having some classes in there real soon. So if you're in the area, stop in at the shop. Dad's there at the shop running the shop every day, um, Monday through Saturday. So stop in and see it anytime you're coming through. Just give us a call. Make sure we're there if it's an off hour or something like that. So stop in at the shop. That's the one big news. Secondly, I announced last video was my 200th video, and I was going to have a giveaway for it. So here's what we're going to give away. I'm going to give away a fly box of mine with all my hand-tied flies. There's, I don't know, 40 some in here. So, a couple dozen flies here. A lot of, as you see here, a lot of my stonefly patterns, a couple different versions of my stonefly patterns. You can see the stone princes, the bead stones, couple sucker spawns, and just videos that I've done in the past that have been real good videos for me and real good flies that I like to fish with. So what we're going to do for it is we're going to get on Instagram, and it's going to be really simple. All you're going to have to do is follow me on Instagram, that simple, and tag 2 friends in it. So just get on to Instagram, make sure you follow me on there, and tag 2 friends, and hopefully they'll follow me too. So we're going to start that here. I'll have the post out. If it's not out already, it will be out this week, and pay attention for that. So now we're going to get into tying here. The fly we're going to tie is a really cool fly, flashy fly like I always like to tie. This one is just a couple different techniques, a couple new materials that I can throw in here for you to spice things up a little bit. This is another check nymph style fly, which I know I tie a lot of, but they catch fish, so that's why I tie a lot of them. Let's get into tying it here. We're going to tie it on a Hannock 480 BL jig head hook. This is a size 14. The bead we're using is a Hannock bead also, and it's the green color in a 3mm. Great combination here. The Hannock hooks and beads are just top quality. Can't say enough about them. So let's get one into vise and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to put a couple wraps of lead on it. And like always, more or less just to build up a touch of body and in the thorax area and add a little bit of weight to it. I'm only going to put about 6 or 7 wraps on there. Just enough to push that bead up into place. I don't want to cover the whole hook with it. I just want to, add a little bit of body and weight her down some. Next thing we're going to put on is some 140 denier fluorescent chartreuse ultra thread. And I'm just going to cover up that lead on there. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do, this is actually this is actually a pretty cool looking fly, and it's going to be like two-tone. And what we're going to use is some hollow tinsel. This one is chartreuse. And I like to, a little tip, I put this on my bobbin. And what it'll do by putting it on the bobbin, you can see my tag end right there. Very, very minimal. So there's very minimal waste that way. And when I get this up here to the bead, I'll cut it off and there'll be no waste to it. So there's like no guessing when you put it on your bobbin like that. And also, it also makes it really smooth to wrap it up with. Alright, the next thing we're going to use is the Hemingway's metallic synthetic peacock quills. They're really nice to work with. It's a paper strip. It's a sticker, I should say, not paper. And what you do is you just peel one off. And there's, I think, 20 of them on here. So you get a lot of them on there. You can see it just peels off. And it's tapered, as it says. It's real skinny at one end and real fat at the other end. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie that with the not the one side is finished. This one is an olive color. It's olive and black on one side to make it look like a quill. On the other side, it's the metallic. Okay, and the metallic side is actually a sticker. We're going to tie it with the metallic side sticking out towards me. Okay, and what that's going to do when we wrap it on, it's going to wrap down with the sticker side down so it adheres to the mylar. Okay, we're just going to wrap that on there. The next thing we're going to use is some Glow Bright. Okay, this is the fluorescent floss. This is the chartreuse, and you can see how bright that is, and it's very UV sensitive, we'll say. And I'm just going to cut a pretty decent sized strand of this off, a couple inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tail with this. This is a tag nymph. We're just going to fold them together, okay? And then I'm going to fold it over once again. So as you can see there, it's just double folded. And then I'm going to tie that down. I'm going to bring this back towards the tail here. I'm going to tie it down. And then I'm going to, that wrapped around there a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to fold these back over. So I actually have 8 strands sticking out the back for a tail. All right. And then we're just going to wrap our thread up and make a nice smooth transition. And if anything, we're going to taper it up towards the head a little bit, but not a whole lot because we're going to put a collar on this fly. So we're just going to get a small taper. The next thing we're going to do is put the hollow tinsel and wrap it up. And now I'm going to give a little disclaimer on this. I was at the symposium. We set up at the symposium, and I was tying there, and we had the shop. And Suntao, if you follow him, or Suntao, if you follow him on any of the social media sites, he ties some pretty awesome flies. And he ties a lot with peacock quills. Well, while he was there, I said, you need to check out these synthetic ones and give them a try. So I talked him into trying out some of these Hemingway synthetic peacock quills. And, of course, his creative mind come up with some pretty cool things. And this was one of the things, not this fly in particular, but a variation, a different way of doing the same thing. And he used this hollow tinsel underneath the synthetic peacock quills, and it just gives it an awesome look. I really like it. Now, as I said earlier here, there is no waste. You saw no waste whenever I cut that off over there. That's one of the big reasons why I like to have that on there. Have it on a bobbin. So now we're going to take and we're just going to wrap the synthetic quill up. And when I wrap it, I'm going to keep the black side. One side is black, the other side is olive. I'm going to keep the black side towards the head of the fly. And we're just going to wrap this up, spacing it nice and evenly. All right, and getting a nice quilled look going up through there with that green showing through underneath it. I have played around. If you would get on my Instagram site, I have a picture. Well, I'll just put it up here right now anyway and show you. There you can see I've played around with a couple different colors and experiment. That's part of the fun of fly tying, like I always say. But as you can see now, I wrapped this up to the head here. I got it wrapped right up behind the head. Make 2 or 3 wraps to tie this down. And then we're just going to cut the tag off. Now, this part here, you can see it's pretty wide. I set that aside and I'll tie that on like a size 14 or something like that. Or sorry, this is a 14. If I'm tying a size 12 or something, I'll set that aside and use it on a bigger fly. So I usually get two flies out of one. But I do like to take some UV fly finish flow and coat this body just to secure it, because it is an adhesive sticker, but it's not that sticky, and with all your touching it, putting it on there and stuff, it gets even less sticky. So I like to put a nice thin coat of some kind of head cement. I just use the UV because it quick cures and I tie a lot, so anything quick is beneficial for me. And then you can see how this glow bright glows with the UV light there. So we're going to come in and we're going to trim our tail off next. And I'm just going to trim that tail. Just give me a nice little tag about, I don't know, half, 3/4 of the length of the body. I don't like a big long tail on this. And the last thing we're going to do is put a collar on it. For the collar, I have been messing around with this. The way I like to do it best is I like to make a dubbing loop. The reason I like to make a dubbing loop is because I can get a lot buggier looking collar out of it. If I just dub it on, twisting it on with my finger, it doesn't get as buggy. I have to pick it out. But if I do a dubbing loop, it makes it a lot buggier looking. So we're just going to do a dubbing loop. And all we're going to use for it is some SLF squirrel dubbing. And on this one, I'm going to use a dark olive color, brown olive. And we're just going to pick a couple little fibers, not a whole lot of the brown olive. And we're going to place that in between the loop I made there. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't take a lot. A little goes a long way. Thin is in, as they say in fly tying. Or thin to win. Okay, once we get it in between the two strands there, all we do is give it a twist and it'll tie itself into it. And then once we get it nice and buggy looking, we're just gonna make a couple wraps. And when I wrap this, I constantly, lightly stroke them fibers back so they don't get trapped down. So it keeps it buggy. And then the last thing we're gonna do is just tie this off. 2 or 3 wraps there. And then we're going to come in with a whip finish and whip finish it. And you can see how more buggy that looks and how the fibers stand out a lot better when I do the color with the dubbing loop. Okay, now you can't really see it real well. One thing with this thread that I'm using, the ultra thread here, sometimes the thread will lay flat and it'll make a wide collar, and I don't really want the wide collar. I just want enough to hint that it's there. So I'm going to take and just spin my bobbin and twist that thread up, and that'll make a tighter, skinnier collar for me. And that's all that's to this little tag nymph. Just a flashy quill tag nymph. Give it a try. I'm sure you'll catch fish on it. It just has the right profile, the right colors for me, olive, and a lot of flash, which I like. So this is one fly that you want to have in your box here this coming season. Give it a try, and the materials you need to tie it with, you can find at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. So please don't forget to check out our social media sites like Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're constantly updated with videos. But don't forget this week, get onto our Instagram page, make sure you follow us and tag 2 buddies, and be eligible to win that fly box. Probably a little over $100 worth of flies in a fly box there. Sure you'll want in on that one. So thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for being with me all this time, the past 5 or 6 years here, going on 6 years that I've been doing this. I really enjoy bringing it to you, and keep coming back for more. Thanks a lot. I'm Sean Holsinger.